Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So this is another episode of Swatching Sundays. I don't remember which episode number we're on, but I'm pretty sure last week I put the wrong number on it. And I was meaning to fix the thumbnail, but I couldn't find the phone that I record on, which is where I also save my thumbnails. So I just found this phone, this phone right here. I just found it about 5 minutes ago after tearing the house apart. And it doesn't have a case, so it's very slim and very slippery, and it had slipped down next to the couch. And I walked by the couch, and there it was in plain sight the whole time. But I secretly believe that the gremlins took it, and they only just put it where I could see it 5 minutes ago, which is why I found it, because I've been looking for it for a week. Ah, those gremlins. So, yes, they have been at work in my life in other ways. This little guy, who is super adorable, was a gift from Miss Marilyn Darling. And if I understand correctly, this is a toothbrush holder from Daiso, which is a fascinating store that I would like to go to someday, but there isn't a Daiso in my area. So I will just have to live vicariously through others. But it's a toothbrush holder, but it holds ink samples very well. So he will be our companion today, and I have decided to call him Bobo. So this is Bobo, my inky elephant companion, and he will be joining us for our Swatching Sundays now, because we all need a little mascot, and he is just adorable. And Miss Marilyn also sent me a lovely limited edition sample of ink, which I had last week to swatch on Swatching Sundays, but I couldn't find Bobo. Bobo had disappeared, and I looked for him everywhere. And for some reason, a lot of things end up under the couch, but he wasn't under the couch. And I just decided to go ahead with filming the video so I could actually get it posted on Sunday. And as soon as I was done filming, there he was in my ink cabinet in plain sight the whole time. The gremlins put him there. So now the gremlins have stolen his little companion ink sample, and they will put it back as soon as I'm done filming today. So I will have it ready for next week's swatching. I do apologize, Marilyn. Thank you so much for being so sweet and so generous and sending me these lovely gifts. But the gremlins just like messing with my mind. So we are moving on with the swatching today. I have a bit of watery winter sunshine to help us. I just feel like the colors turn out better when there's sunlight. The artificial light just doesn't do the colors justice. But for today's sampling, these came from a swap with a new pen friend named Dianne. And I don't know how much information Dianne wants me to share about her, so I will just call her Dianne. And Dianne, if you would like to claim the swap in the comments, you are certainly welcome to do so. But she sent me some lovely samples, which I have not yet swapped, so that is going to be our aim of today. So I'm just going to start at one end and work to the other. And she even typed her labels. Don't those look so nice? Ooh, is that going to focus? This is Birmingham Pen Company Twilight. Ooh. So Bobo, my trusty companion. Ooh, these are on nice and tight too. The better to not leak. So I am going to put him in Bobo's expert care. Alright, if you push them in there really good, they stay nice and sturdy. And he just doesn't want to stand upright. Okay, I'm just having one of those days. That's alright. Playing with the ink will make it all better. So this is, ooh, can you guys see that? Birmingham. And I'm just going to call it Birmingham. Well, maybe Birmingham Pen. Birmingham Pen, and this is Twilight. And this is a very interesting purple kind of color. Usually Twilight inks that I've seen are more bluish. Well, they're bluish purple, but this is like a purpley plum color. So very interesting. All right. Oh, and I also have to tell you, I found an ink sample that I thought was the one from Marilyn, but this is the color that it was. It is just black. Oh, as you can see on my finger. And I don't know why this black ink is in a sample vial. I don't know where it came from. I don't think anybody sent it to me, so I don't know. The mysteries of ink. Ooh, wow, this is super wet. Sometimes it seems like I can't hardly get the ink to come off the swab, but this ink is just pouring off. All right, and get my little drip in. And he's just, whooped, he's about to run off the paper. Very nice. Kind of like a plum burgundy sort of color. I'm going to get our drip to run back the other way a little bit so he doesn't run completely off the paper. And we'll just set him aside to dry. And I just have ink all over the place. But that's the whole point of swatching, right? To get the ink out and use it. On your paper, on your pen, on your skin, on your table, wherever, doesn't matter. We just have to release the ink. All right, next up we have Robert Oster Motor Oil. Ooh, I've heard a lot about this one. This should be exciting. All right, Bobo, help me out here. Did I get it? And I do really enjoy Robert Oster inks. I have quite a few samples, but I only have a couple of bottles. No, except for the new ones that I just bought from Cult Pens, which I still need to swatch. So, more Robert Oster to come. So this is Robert Oster Motor Oil. So I know what I will be working on this week. Some more swatching videos for you. And those are lots of fun. And let's see. It seems like sometimes Robert Oster inks are a little dry, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just different. I don't know, it seems like most ink companies have different inks, different ink properties, but for some reason, poor noodlers, they just get bashed by so many people because their inks are all different. It's okay to have different inks. They have different properties and different components, and you know, some of them you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley, but you know, that's part of their charm. Okay, next up we have Pure Pens Cotswolds. Ooh, I love me some Pure Pens. Let's see. Oh, come on, Bobo, help me out here. Yeah. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe he needs a twist. Does that work? Nope. Nope. I did practice this before off camera, I promise. And it worked like a charm. See, just when we have guests, everybody has to act up. Okay, excuse me. This was Pure Pens Cotswolds. I have never been to the Cotswolds or any part of the UK, even though I would like to go there very much. So, I'm sure they mentioned this on the Pure Pens website, but I don't know what about the Cotswolds inspired this ink, because it's looking very, I don't know, kind of amber yellow, golden brown. What would we call this? And the Cotswolds I think of as, you know, green meadows. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right area. If anybody knows the origin of this ink, please share. Or if you can tell me some more about the Cotswolds, that would be nice too. Ooh, he's seeming kind of dry too. He's not really interested in dripping. He's going to be stubborn. That's okay. Wow. It's kind of, can we call it a golden orange? There's golden yellow and golden brown, but I would almost call this golden orange. And of course, in my watery sunlight, it looks kind of green. Ooh. But it's kind of a light, what would I call this? Like a light muddy orange, or a golden orange, a mustardy orange. But yeah, on the camera, it's looking kind of a greenish yellow. All right, who do we have next here? Okay, I got him in there good, but I forgot to read the name. This is Diamine Ink Vent Mulled Wine. Ooh, I have not done very much with the Ink Vent inks. And I do hope they do it again. I debated and debated about purchasing the Ink Vent calendar when it came out, but it just seemed like such an investment. But now I almost regret not doing it. Almost. Because that was a lot of ink. I probably don't need to add that much more ink to my collection. But so many of them are beautiful, and I'm really glad that they have offered them in individual bottles now. And I know a lot of people were asking if they were going to do it again this year, but I mean, they came up with 25 new inks. That's a lot of ink. So they probably need a year or two. Well, it's been a year. They probably need 2 or 3 years to recover and start the process of making new inks again. So maybe in another year or two, they'll do it again. It was so outrageously popular, they'd be foolish not to do it again. Ooh, this is a lovely burgundy. And you know what this is making me want to do? It's making me want to get my cards out and compare. I love to compare my ink cards. That is so much fun. And we're getting a little drip there. Just a little one. It's looking like a brighter red in person. It's looking more dark purple on the camera. Now, I have heard people say that they do color correction on their cameras, and I have not learned how to do that. And honestly, I don't know if my very basic filming setup would allow for color correction, but it's certainly something I could look into. I would love to have realistic colors, you know, so when you look at the camera, you can tell what we're looking at. Okay, this is Birmingham Pen Company Waterfront Dusk. And I forget if Diane said that these were the old ink formulas or the new ink formulas. I want to say they're the new ones, but I'm not sure. All right, Bobo, help me out here. Nope. Okay. Never work with babies. What is it? Children? No. What's the phrase? Oh my goodness. Never work with children and animals. So here's my animal that I shouldn't be working with. Naughty, naughty Bobo. Okay, what did I say this was? Birmingham Waterfront Dusk. I haven't looked at the Birmingham site for a little while, so I don't know if they have any new inks coming out. Not that I should be looking. I don't need to be buying any more inks. It's very interesting. The Twilight was kind of a plummy color, and this Dusk is also looking kind of purpley. Where again, I would think Dusk and Twilight would be blue colors. So that just goes to show you that, you know, different people have different interpretations. Yeah, wow, this is a really dark plum. Ooh, and my Q-tip has a hair. Ooh, I'm trying to go around my finger there. Because heaven forbid I should get ink on my fingernail. Wow. Yep, it's looking kind of gray on the camera, but in person it's more of a burgundy color. It definitely has more red to it in person, but it's still very dark. Very nice. All right, and we just have one more to go. Oh, goodness, I need to put the cap back on this one. Ooh, and there's a hair, a Q-tip hair on the neck of it. Naughty Q-tips. I wonder where the name Q-tip came from. What does the Q stand for? Why isn't it C-tip for cotton? Because they're cotton-tipped. I don't know. These are the things I wonder about. Ooh, this is Diamine Ink Vent Elf. Now, I think she said the inks she was sending me were standard inks. I don't think there's any shimmer in this one. But what a fun name. You know, I've never seen the movie Elf with Will Ferrell. I hear it's the favorite Christmas movie of a lot of people. So one of these days I'm going to get around to watching it. Let's see, Diamine Ink Vent. Oop, can I squeeze that in? Elf. I know Christmas has passed, but it's never too late to talk about Christmas. I was just going to ask you what your favorite Christmas movie is. I admit to watching It's a Wonderful Life twice this year. I love that movie so much. I saw it for the first time in high school, in a psychology class of all places. But if I had to pick a favorite Christmas movie, it would either be A Christmas Story or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love both of those. Wow, this is much lighter than I was expecting. Let's see if we get a drip. Oh dear, no drip. Very interesting. Gosh, I'm a squeezing and nothing's happening. Well, that'll be interesting to see how that dries. All right, so I'm going to give those a few minutes to dry, and I'll straighten up a little bit, and I will be back. All right, these guys are almost dry, so I'm just going to give a quick little overview. We have Birmingham Pen Twilight, and this is showing up much pinker in real life than it is on the camera. Oh, that's looking really purple. But it's definitely pinker. And while we're talking about the pinky reds, let's look at these other guys. This is Diamine Ink Vent Mulled Wine. Now he's showing up a bit redder, but again in person he's even more red. And then we have Birmingham Pen Waterfront Dusk. And he's not quite dry yet. But again, much more purple in person. It's looking very gray on the camera. But it's like a kind of a dark burgundy plum. Or maybe just a dark dusky plum. I just thought it would be interesting to look at these three together, since they're in a similar color family. And definitely all unique. And I don't really see any sheening on these. There's a little hint of a green sheen around the edge here. Just a hint. Which is about the level of sheen I like on my inks. Just a hint of sheen. But I think you can see that. He's looking green. And how about mulled wine? Do we see any sheen on him? Almost none. Just a tiny hint. And then Waterfront Dusk is still drying a little bit, but even on the dried areas, I don't see any sheen. Okay, so let's look at these other guys. We have Robert Oster Motor Oil, and that's a very complex grayish brown. Very interesting color. For some reason I was thinking it might look like Lamy Petrol, but those are very different colors. And I don't see any sheen on this one either. But I bet it would be a beautiful shader. And then we have Pure Pens Cotswolds. That kind of dusky orange, or a golden mustard sort of color. Oh, that's almost the right color. Very close. But yeah, probably some good shading, but no sheen. And then finally we have Diamine Ink Vent Elf. Excuse me, Elf. And he's still drying a bit too. He's kind of a light green. Maybe even emerald? Would we call that emerald green? And maybe a tiny hint of sheen, but not too much. Just a lovely light green. All right, well, those are our swatches for today. And thank you so much to my pen friends, Miss Marilyn and Dianne, for sharing their ink with me. Oh my goodness, we can't even see all these guys. Let's get you over here. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed swatching these samples with me, and I hope you have a great week and enjoy your pens and inks, and I will see you again soon for some more swatching. Take care. Bye-bye.